Hey guys, I'm John Setzler. Welcome back to the Kamado Joe Cooking Channel, and welcome to our first video of the new year 2018. This is a video that you guys chose through the Kamado Joe Grilling, Smoking, and More Facebook page poll that I put up a while back. So we're going to kick off this year with that grilled London broil. So let's get started. First thing I want to do is put together a marinade, because we're going to give this steak about an 8-hour marinade. So I'm going to start out in my little mini Ninja here. You can use a blender, or you could even do this by hand. This is an easy marinade. So we're going to start out. I've got a half a cup of soy sauce, and do not use the low sodium soy sauce here. If you do, you're going to want to tenderize your meat with a jacquard or pound it out. And then I'm going to follow that up with 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, and then I've got 2 tablespoons of ketchup going in. I've got a tablespoon of rubbed sage. I've got 5 cloves of garlic that need to be minced, and that's the main reason we're going to just put them in here and do it. I've got a tablespoon and a half of vegetable oil, about a teaspoon of black pepper, a teaspoon of paprika, and a teaspoon of freshly chopped thyme. So I'm going to put the top on this guy, and we're going to pulse it a bit and get that blended together. Okay, here we've got the star of our show. This is what we're going to call a London broil. But a London broil is basically a cooking technique, or a type of style of meat. This is a top round roast piece, or a top round steak. This is almost 2 pounds. It's fairly thick, and I wanted a nice thick one. This may be a little over an inch thick, maybe 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a knife, and we're going to score both sides of this in a diamond pattern. And what this is going to do is it's going to give us more surface area and help get that meat penetrated with our marinade really well, kind of in the style of Adam Perry Lang's chard and scruff. We're going to do this to both sides of this steak. And then we're just going to take this guy and put it in a 1-gallon ziploc with our marinade. I'm going to put that guy right in the bag. Then we're going to dump our marinade in behind it. And we're going to turn that around and make sure we get that coated, get that meat coated on both sides. And I'm going to zip this bag up, and we're going to get as much of the air out of it as we can. And I'm going to toss it in the refrigerator for 8 hours. And every 2 or 3 hours, I'm going to just flip it and massage it and make sure we get a good marinade. While we're marinating that top round steak, or that London broil, I'm going to make a horseradish sauce that we're going to use to go with this as well. So I'm starting out with 2 cups of creme fraiche, or you can use sour cream if you like. I've got a half a cup of freshly grated horseradish. We're going to use 1 tablespoon or so of Dijon mustard, and 1 teaspoon of white wine vinegar, and I'm going to put a dash of salt in here as well, and some black pepper. And then I'm just going to mix this up. And I'm going to cover this with plastic, and we're going to let it marinate in the refrigerator for the same duration that we get the meat. You might want to do this. You can do this a day in advance if you like. Okay, I've built a nice hot fire over on the left-hand side of the firebox of the Kamado Joe Classic. And I'm just going to set the Divide and Conquer flexible cooking rack in place. And I've already got it configured here for a 2-zone setup. I'm going to use the cast iron grates over here on the left, and we're going to do our searing on those cast iron grates. And once I get my searing done, if I need to finish it off and let it come up to any higher temp, we'll move it over here to the indirect side of the grill. So I'm going to leave the bottom vent fully open, and I'm going to set the top vent probably about halfway open, or 3/4 of the way open or so. And I'm going to let this grill continue to get nice and hot for just 10 or 15 more minutes. Okay guys, we've got the Classic nice and hot here. I've got a nice hot direct grilling surface over here, so I've taken our top round out of the refrigerator, and we're just going to put it on here And we're going to cook with the lid open here, and we're just going to keep this thing turning. I'm going to turn it about every 30 seconds or so, so we'll be back. Okay, we turned it a quarter of a turn after about 30 seconds, so now we're ready to give it a flip. And we're just going to keep this guy turning. Like I said, every 30 seconds I'm going to give it a quarter of a turn, and then the next 30 seconds we're going to flip it over. Okay guys, after about 6 or 7 minutes of that, I've got a char that I'm pretty happy with here, so we're going to move this over to the indirect side of the grill, and I'm going to finish that to about 130 degrees internal temperature on the indirect side of the grill, and we'll let that finish up and we'll be back. Okay guys, we've been going for about another 20 minutes or so, 18 minutes to get this guy up to about 130, so I'm going to take it off the grill. We're going to take it inside and tin it with foil and let it rest for about 10 minutes. Okay guys, I've taken the liberty of slicing this open. We've got a nice medium rare to medium cook here on this, so I'm going to hit it with some of that horseradish sauce we put together, and then we're going to sprinkle it with just a little bit of fresh parsley, and then we're going to have a taste. Man, this looks amazing. Alrighty guys, I've cut off a little piece here. Let's see what we've got. Oh man, that is beautiful. That's a beautiful flavor. That soy sauce and balsamic vinegar with the garlic and the seasonings. Beautiful marinade, topped by a little bit of kick with that horseradish sauce that we made. So you're going to have to give this one a try and let me know what you think. Join us on Facebook, facebook.com/KamadoJoe. Follow us on Twitter @KamadoJoe. And until next time, I'm John Setzler with Kamado Joe Cooking Channel.